Hey, welcome back. This is Megan DeVito. I'm the face behind 10,000 Swords Coaching, and I'm here again this week to talk to you guys about negativity. If you catch my emails, and if you don't, I don't know why you don't, but my web address is 10,000swords.com, so you should go there right now and get them once a week. I send a video out on Tuesdays. So if you got my email, you know that this week's email was all about stopping negativity and why it's so important that you ditch that constant search for blah in your life. Okay, so I am coming off of a fantastic weekend. Last weekend, it was my birthday. Some really nice stranger at a coffee shop bought me coffee. One of my friends bought me a sweatshirt, which seemed like really over the top, and but that was so sweet of her. And it was just gorgeous outside. It was like 75, 76 degrees in Indiana in November, which was crazy. And I felt like crap all weekend. Really, I did. I ended up skipping my birthday dinner because I was afraid that I had COVID or something, which I didn't because I felt fine the next day. But it was a fantastic weekend. So in the middle of that, I started thinking about how really having to miss my birthday and having to feel kind of gross on Sunday could have really brought everything down. And it didn't, because when I think back, still several days later, I'm just like, dang, I'd do that weekend again. That was great. So I want to talk to you this week about negativity, and I want to talk to you about what that looks like in your life, and what it means to really say, we say, have a good day. And then we just kind of leave it dangling, don't we? Like we say, have a good day. And then we hope that just happens to us. But in the middle of everything, in the middle of last week with the big election in the United States and, tallying up votes and everything, I'm like, could not get this song out of my head. And if you don't know it, the song's by the Nappy Roots and it's called Good Day. And it is just, it's an earworm song. Like it gets in and you just got to sing it out. So I spent a lot of time on Saturday just like walking around dancing and singing Good Day. And what I really like about that song is that it talks about how having a good day is actually a choice. And it's not something that just happens to you. It's not something that you just fall into. It's a decision. It's really a decision to have a good day. And not only is having a good day like super fun, it's also really healthy. But here's the part that's hard. Complaining feels good. It's terrible for us. It's like liquor or cigarettes or anything else that we do that makes us feel good temporarily. This is so bad for us, right? So does complaining feel good? Sure. Should we make a habit of it? No, but so many of us have. So what I'm talking about here is taking that temporary feeling of like, oh dang, let me tell you about this crappy thing that happened to me, and turning it into a more positive approach. Okay, so even though complaining feels really good, it actually breeds more complaining. It helps our brain seek more stuff to complain about. It makes us more susceptible to find bad situations because it gives us something else. Because remember, anything that feels good to our brain, even bad things like liquor or cigarettes or complaining, will stimulate your brain to want more. All right? But we have this really, really cool thing called neuroplasticity. All right, neuroplasticity, this is how I explain it. I'm a teacher, so this is how I explain it to my students. Neuroplasticity is the ability of your brain to create little fingers that reach out to other fingers and latch onto them with similar experiences that feel good or that can connect an idea to another idea. So neuroplasticity means I have a neuron here and a neuron here, and they're not connecting. So I grow more neurons until they start connecting, and that makes the idea stick. And it makes it bring more neurons and more neurons and more neurons. Neuroplasticity is that ability, say after someone has a stroke, to learn how to go from not being able to move their fingers to being able to move their fingers again. It's retraining your nerves to fire where we want them to fire. So when we're always looking for negativity, we will always find more negativity. And when we're always looking for positive things, we'll always find more positive things. So, and the idea of this, you might be saying, okay, but whatever, what I like to complain. What does that actually do for me? And it actually quite literally makes it more difficult for you to solve problems and to think through your problems. It hits this area of your brain called the hippocampus, okay? The hippocampus helps you solve problems. If you're always complaining and never solving a problem, your hippocampus is actually being reduced so that it is less able to solve the problems that you're complaining about. But it also does some other things, okay? And this is the part that maybe is a little more in our faces because we can see them. When you complain, your body produces cortisol, and cortisol is a stress hormone. And you've probably heard the word cortisol before because I've talked about it, and it's on all the things that we warn you about. Cortisol, when it settles in, can cause your blood pressure to go up. It can cause you to hang on to fat. It literally makes it harder for you to lose weight. It can cause heart disease. It can cause strokes. It can cause high cholesterol. It can do all of those things. And for my friends who are here, because I always talk about anxiety, it can cause more anxiety. It literally can make you more anxious to complain more. So I want to offer you a solution today. I don't want to leave you stuck and wondering, well, great, what do I do now? All I do is complain, which, by the way, that was a complaint. What I want you to do is I want you to get grateful. And I know that seems way too simple, okay? So there's 3 things that we're gonna do to really start working through this chronic negativity. One is to cultivate gratitude. And if you joined me on Facebook Live a while back, you might have met my friend Sarah. And Sarah and I talked a little bit about gratitude and what she says that she does to remember to find things that she's grateful for each morning is she has one of those little notepads, you know, the little teeny spiral ones, and she keeps it next to her coffee in the cabinet. So when she gets up in the morning, she starts the coffee pot and she writes down 3 things that she's grateful for. And that is a great way to start your day. If you have time to do it in your bed before you get up, do it then. If you want to do it in the Notes app in your phone, that's fine. But every day, before you dive into whatever is coming, I want you to find at least 3 things that you're grateful for. And just starting to train your brain to find those things is a huge improvement because remember, we talked about neuroplasticity. And when we start seeking for good, we find more good. So it might start out when you do this that you can only come up with the same 3 things over and over and over again. I get it, okay? Our brain's not ready for that yet. That's okay. Keep going because you'll notice if you develop a habit of cultivating gratitude that your brain starts looking for things during the day. So instead of waiting until you're making the coffee in the morning, it might be like 2 o'clock in the afternoon and you're like, dang, that was a good thing. And you can store it for tomorrow to write in your little notepad so you get to write something different. Your brain will start to seek more out. It just takes a little bit of time. All right. The next thing I want you to do is to allow yourself to have productive complaining. All right. Complaining feels good because it allows us to vent our feelings. And that's important too, because we don't want to keep things bottled up. But there's a difference between complaining to complain and complaining to produce results. So not all complaining is bad, but when you complain, just be sure that it's oriented towards finding a solution to whatever it is that you're complaining about. Use your complaints to cultivate change instead of just word vomiting on people. So be productive with your complaining. And finally, I want you to avoid vampires, all right? Not the really like awesome sparkly ones in the movies. I want you to avoid the vampires that come in and they start complaining and they suck all the gratitude out of you and they suck all the positivity out of you. And this could be people that you love, all right? This might be your mom. It might be your best friend. It might be your husband or your wife. And I'm not saying not to be around those people, but you can start saying, you know what? I'm going to go in the other room because you seem to be pretty upset right now, or you seem to be, not feeling really great. So I'm going to shift the conversation for you so we can talk about things that aren't so upsetting. And you can actually teach them to be more positive too. And you don't have to point out their negativity in a mean way. You can be kind about it and just say, you know what? Seems like things aren't going that great for you. Let's talk about something else. You've redirected and you've gotten yourself out of the situation. And if it's somebody that you can avoid who just doesn't get it, just avoid them. Not everybody is your person. All right. So this is my advice on how you can start moving through this. Now, this is something that I do a lot in my coaching. I work a lot on mindset and confidence. The more you're able to feel good about your day and good about your life, the more your confidence builds, your anxiety goes down, and that's how we get to where we want to go. That's how we reach our goals. If you are interested in talking with me and having a breakthrough session, they are totally free. It's like a half hour, 45 minutes, and we get together and we talk on Zoom or we talk on the phone. And we just really lay out what it is that you want. You know, do you want to get into college? Do you want to find a new job? Do you just want to stop having anxiety attacks all day? Because guys, I totally get that. And we can work on that. So we just talk, we come up with a plan, and you will hang up or push stop on Zoom with at least one good way for you to start being more successful, more confident, and less anxious. So today, even if you're watching this in the middle of the afternoon or late at night, 3 things right now that you're grateful for, and start making a habit. Start making it part of your daily routine every day. Take care.